everyone, it's Kristan Hawkins. Welcome to this new How to Win This Week episode on the Explicitly Pro-Life podcast. This is a question I get asked a lot. Everywhere I go, I get asked this question. How to keep my kids, how to keep my grandkids pro-life, or let me tell you the crazy thing that my grandchild just came back from college saying, I can't believe it. I think we have to face facts. The mainstream media, social media, most colleges, and much of the public school system in general are working against our efforts, your efforts to raise pro-life kids who will stay pro-life for their whole life. They want you to lose this battle. They want your child to be confused about his or her identity, convinced that truth is relative, and dependent on the government for their needs and their information. You can't coast through raising kids and just hope they'll turn out good, hope for the best. We as parents have to be proactive in taking steps to keep our kids pro-life. I say keep your kids pro-life because kids naturally start out pro-life. Because when you first tell a child what abortion is, what do they say? Why would someone do that? But how do we keep them pro-life? We have to show them that it is the correct, truthful, and moral position to hold. And we have to show them, as just more importantly, that having a pro-life worldview leads to flourishing on their own, flourishing for our entire society. The culture of death is not a legacy I want to leave my kids, because the culture of death in our nation has led to heartache, confusion, pain, and suffering, and yes, death. Primarily through the tens of millions of children who've been aborted, who've been killed since 1973. Over the years, I've spoken to so many parents and experts about what are the best strategies for helping keep kids pro-life, to ensure that they flourish as pro-life adults. I'm going to share with you a couple of things I've learned. 1, teach your kids that truth is objective. Kids need to know the truth. That truth is actually objective, and that there are firm answers to their most important questions. They need a theological foundation for their spiritual questions. They need to know science has answers to their questions about the physical world and biology. They need to understand that life has meaning and purpose, and that those things are discernible if they seek after the truth throughout their entire lives. Imagine how unsettling it must be for a child to be told that truth is whatever you want it to be, and that the truth can change from person to person. That sounds like a really good way on how to confuse a child and how to lead to unhappiness in a child's life. 2, initiate important conversations with your kids and encourage them to keep the conversations going. Open lines of communication are extremely important. Kids today are facing a whole host of questions about their identity, the meaning of life, morality around sexual and reproductive ethics. And let me just be very clear. The abortion industry is wasting no opportunity to get in front of your kids on their devices. Talk to your kids first. Talk to them earlier than you think you need to. And make sure they know they can come to you with questions as they arise and not face judgment or shame for initiating those conversations. Because if you're not having the conversations with your kids, they will get the information and guidance from somebody else in the culture of death. And Planned Parenthood wants to be that person. 3, share your own experience with your kids. Share your stories with your kids. Tell them the mistakes you made in the past. Are you post-abortive yourself? Did you experiment with something that resulted in misery? Let them know that they're not alone in search, and that when they fall, they can get back up. When your kids go out into the real world, something I think about all the time with mine, they will be bombarded with the message that pro-lifers are narrow-minded, they're judgmental. Show them that this is not the case by being open about your own life experiences, your own struggles, how you yourself have got involved to step up to serve. You know, when my son was 10, my oldest son, Gunnar, I explained to him what abortion was. He already sort of knew what abortion was. He's always listening to my conversations, whether I want him to be listening or not. But I wanted to sit him down and actually explain to him what abortion was. He was shocked, but he immediately understood the injustice of abortion and why I do what I do, why mom is gone, why mom may not be available because she's on another conference call, why I do what I do to stop it. I started early with him and I reached him before anyone else was able to confuse him or give him misinformation on topic. It's sad that we live in a culture where a 10-year-old has to learn about abortion, where you have to have these adult conversations with kids. But I assure you, it is 100% worth it. And it's the key to keeping this generation, generation now Alpha, pro-life.